This vehicle, and you turn it on and you can see it can crank back. It doesn't start, and you can see the check engine light is not coming on. So what I'll do now is I'll try and test the ECU side and see why the light is not coming on. The check engine light is not coming on. After checking all the fuses, what I'll do now is I'll take out the socket. So this is the location of the control unit. So we'll take out the socket, and this is the socket that contains all the power lines. So we'll start checking from fuse 1 and C. So with the wiring diagram. So for my wiring diagram, this side is the ones that contain, so you can see battery M and battery. So these are the ones that contains the power. So I'll check for the power, then I'll check for the signal on this one, which is the network pin 11. So I'll check for pin 1, which is black and red, and pin 2 is blue and red. So I'll check here and see if that's the exact wire that I'm working on it. And you can see pin 1 is black and red, and pin 2 is blue and red. Then pin 3 is black and yellow, and you can see this is black and yellow. So I'll check it and count to pin 11 and check the network on it before I can do anything. Then from there I'll know what to do. And if you go to the other page of the wiring diagram with Toyota, most of the time they are ground, they name it E. So you can see E01, E02, which is the ground, but I'm not going there now. So I'll check with those ones first. And the ignition is on, so I'll check if I'll get power in it. If I get power from pin 1, which is this, so you can see I'm not getting any power on pin 1. Then let me move to the second pin and see if I will be getting any power on it. And you can see I'm getting power on pin 2. And let me see, pin 3 also I'm getting power. So now I have to check why I'm not getting power on pin. Why I'm not getting power on pin 1. And I think pin 1 is fused. So that means I have to go and check that fuse. I have to go and check that fuse and see if there is any issue. So you can see pin 1, which is this yellow one, goes to this whole unit, and this whole unit is being also goes to that unit. So let me see. Okay, so let me test the power from the relay and see. So you can see on pin 1, which is this, unit over here, behind the left side of the dash driver side. So you can see this pin. So let me trace and see the wire that turns it on. This 1, 2 wires do not turn it on, so let me check for another wire. This one goes to the rear vehicle off, and this one also goes to the fuse, which comes here. So before it can turn on the other fuses, and let me check again and see which wire goes on. And this wire comes here, which is this 10 amps. So there is the fuse that turns on the relay. So let me go to the front, the engine room, and check why this relay is not working. If not, then I have to jump power and try it and see if everything will be okay. So now what I'll do is I'll go and check my fuses and see. So I'll check ETCS fuse, then I'll see if it is from that side. So from this side, the ECT fuse is the 10 amps. So I'll check it and see why the power is not going there. So there is the fuse, and you can see there is power on it. So now I have to check why the power is not getting to the system. You have to check why the power is not getting to the system. So we'll go back into the vehicle and try and jump power to it and see if it will start. So after checking everything, you check the ignition fuse and it's also working. So that means I have to check the network line, and if it's also working, I'll check the ground. Then from there I'll know that maybe the control unit is off. So I'll check the network line, which is pin 7. So I'll try and use my scan tool to communicate with it and see if there will be any activity on that line. So you can see it's at 12 volts, and we'll try to use my scan tool to communicate and see if there will be any communication on that line the moment the scan tool try to communicate with it. So you can see the scan tool is searching for the protocol as it is reading. So the moment it sees that protocol, it will send a command to shut it to ground. You can see the communication, the scan tool trying to find the control unit, but the control unit is not alive. So it couldn't communicate, it couldn't send the signal back. So that means my control unit is off. So I'll replace it and continue the diagnosis. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to my channel for more videos. So now I'll use the Oem diagram to do the diagnosis. This camry to AZ. Sorry. Oh no, it's not supported. That means I need to use a laptop, but I wouldn't use the laptop. I'll be using the coloring wiring diagram. So I'll go back to home and go to coloring wiring diagram so that I nearly bought a control board. Whilst it's not a control board issue, so I ordered for one, and quickly I learned my lesson and took it back. So I got to find the problem to the solution. I got to find the problem, and now I'm having the solution to my problem. So now what I'll do is, with the wiring diagram, I'll check. So you can see I'll check on wiring diagram 2 and 1. So wait for it to load up, then wait for it to load up so that I can add the diagram 2 to it. So this is the relay that messed me up. So you can see this relay supplies voltage to the control unit pin 1. And the last time we tested it, and pin 1 was not having power, but I didn't test if the relay is sending power to the control unit, and this power goes to this battery. So you can see the B plus, that's where the power goes to this splice, and one of the splice also goes to that relay. So let's check. So you can see at this point, this one supplies the power. So whenever this relay is turned on, it supply power to this wire, and this wire supply power to this junction, and it supplies power to this point. So we're not getting any power from this point, from the one. We're not getting power because the relay was faulty. So later did my diagnosing properly and found out that it was from the relay. the IMF relay. So now what I'll do is, before we can know it's from the relay, we have to test it and know the actual problem. So the car can crank, but it will not start, and there's no communication between the control unit. So now what I'll do is I'll go to the relay and test it over there and see if it will come up. But now the fuse box is fixed. Sorry, now the control unit is fixed. So this relay has a constant ground, which is this, and also a power from the control from the this MREL line. So whenever you turn on the key, it supplies power to this relay to activate. So now what I'll do is I'll go there and test if the relay is working. So when you check, this is the Efi Relay. So what I'll do now is I'll turn on the key and see if this light will come on, because now the control unit is fixed, and the moment I turn it on, the moment I turn my ignition on, that relay is supposed to be active. So now you can see my ignition is on and the check engine light is not on. So, and you can see that this relay is off, it's not working. So what I'll do is I'll swap with the next relay available, and see, the light is supposed to turn on. So let's test this side. So you can see when I test this side, the light turns on because there is power there and there is no power here. So now what I'll do is I'll remove this relay. It's working, so I'll remove it and place it there and see if the check engine light will come on, because the moment this light comes on, that means the check engine light is supposed to come on. So I went back to my books to study so that I don't make that mistake. So I nearly changed the control board, and you can see the light is on. So now that the light is on, it's telling me that relay is working. So now let me check my check engine light, and voila, my check engine light is on. So that means I'll be able to start the vehicle, and that relay also connects to the fuel pump. So you can see the fuel pump, and you can see the vehicle is running. Yeah, now the vehicle is running. So I'll be able to communicate with it, and now you can see that the vehicle is running. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to my channel for more videos.